Thank you, Program Director. Your Excellency, President Azali Assoumani, the Chair of the African Union, Heads of States in attendance, eminent persons present, and heads of various AU structures and organizations. I'm glad to be here. Africa Integration Day is one of the most important days in the African Union calendar. I'm pleased to join this commemoration at the BOMA 2023. The past 3 years have taught us all valuable lessons about why deepening African integration is perhaps the most urgent task of our time. The COVID-19 pandemic, the war in Europe, and the associated health and economic crises have taught us that Africa's vulnerabilities can only be solved by Africans and their governments taking our destiny into our own hands as Africans. Even more important, these events taught us that we must take integration seriously because our vulnerabilities and problems are integrated. Our solutions must therefore be integrated and coordinated by ourselves as Africans. Consider, for example, the way countries of the global north treated us with vaccine apartheid at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. That happened because we did not have our own destinies in our own hands. That should never be allowed to happen again. That is why I'm proud to see that efforts are underway by various African nations and the AU to build our own vaccine manufacturing capacities and associated regional supply chains. The Partnerships for African Vaccine Manufacturing, which was established by the African Union under the Africa CDC, has set a bold target for the continent. It aims to enable African vaccine manufacturing industry to develop, to produce, and to supply over 60% of the total vaccine doses required on the continent by 2040, up from less than 1%. This will represent real progress on our continent. I urge African Union member states, African manufacturers, national regulatory agencies, and partners to do all they can to ensure we succeed on this very important mandate. However, our efforts should not end at vaccine manufacturing. More broadly, we must aspire to continuously invest in our post-pandemic resilience building across multiple levels of health systems, as well as economic and financial systems. For that to truly materialize, it will take innovative and intentional public-private partnerships to succeed. We can only succeed if we integrate and synergize the efforts of the public and private sectors while we carry along partners in civil society and the international community. If we are intentional about this, I assure you, Your Excellencies, and ladies and gentlemen, we will see accelerated results and a more resilient and thriving Africa. I wish you all great deliberations during this year's BOMA. And I should end by saying, Happy Africa Integration Day. Thank you for having me.